times. Welcome back to ArcNeo Reviews, where I believe we're actually doing our first time looking at a fourth party transformer. Now, for anyone who's not heard that term, a fourth party transformer is when a third party makes a figure and then someone else knocks that figure off. But it's not just a KO, like they do something useful to it. Um, in this case, they made it bigger. I cannot remember who the original maker of this mold was. I'm sure at some point Zachamus will comment and tell me. So check in the check for a pinned comment. Whenever he inevitably tells me, I will pin his comment and you will know. But yeah, this is a fourth party Starscream figure. It kind of ends up being in like, it's gonna be weird to say, it ends up feeling like a basic class figure for anyone who remembers that. Like, it's not quite small enough to be a scout or something, but it's not big enough to be a deluxe, because like if it was a deluxe it'd be another, that much longer. It falls in this weird size category. Now, like the third-party Iron Factory Seekers we looked at, this guy did also come in a 3-pack. And in fact, I then found another 3-pack that was the Coneheads. All this same design. The Coneheads were not made by the same people, because the Coneheads are like that much shorter in their robot modes. It's weird. I'm not going to get into the whole thing. Like, if people want, I'll make a video where I just show all of them together, but this will be, the transformation video and the actual review of stuff. So, yeah. All that said, here we have a not Starscream, and he looks pretty dang good. This is a really nice alt mode. I know this is an older, set of engineering, but I still think it does very, very well. It's like pretty clean, even from the side profile. Like, the worst part is the fact that you can very clearly see this one hand right here, because this hand is the landing gear. It's a weird way of handling things, but you know what? It worked. The other landing gear do actually fold up. They're like completely undetailed. But they at least bothered to give us landing gear. As usual with a Starscream figure in jet mode, yes, you can very easily knock the fins in the back out of alignment and mess those up. But all in all, really, really good little swooshable jet mode. This is one of the ones where I wish it had a flight stand port. But I mean, you might be able to get the flight stand peg to like sit in the hand or something. I don't know. But no, pretty neat. Again, this is a upscale KO of an older figure. So, some quibbles like the lack of flight stand are to be expected, kind of. Let's go ahead and get this guy transformed. Transforming him, pretty interesting, actually. There were choices made, shall we say. As always, it's a Starscream figure. You take the null rays off. Then you're going to come back here to the fins. Go ahead and flatten those out. Fold these up, and they'll kind of sit around, at least for now. Come here, and we'll actually go ahead and start by just using the thrusters ball joint there to be able to get here and fold the feet out. Then these panels here are on a double hinge. So instead of extending the legs, you actually do this to just free the legs up, which is neat. It's neat. Go ahead and come to these little sections here. Fold them up, and here we get to the one part of this transformation I do not care for. I do not understand this choice. You're gonna have to like slightly nudge things to get the arms folded out here. Go ahead and fold that hand out. The arms are asymmetrical. It is because of the wheel on here, you'll always remember which hand goes where. Only this hand has this extra pin to fold the hand up and tuck it up in there. Yeah, there's just like not quite enough clearance here, so you do have to ever so slightly force things there. And as I understand, the original mold was like that too. So that's not just a thing that happened in the KOificationing, in the embiggening. Like, no, that just is a thing with this mold. Minor quibble. It doesn't seem to actually be stressing anything enough to damage anything. It just makes you sit there and go, ooh, while you do it. And that's why I'm not going to sit here and transform all 6 versions of this that I have for one video. But after you do that, go ahead, fold the nose cone down. Go ahead and take the double hinge, fold all of this down. Fold these back into place. And there are like little clips here. They're supposed to kind of hook in, but I find they usually just kind of sit there and then they call it good. But hey, they do stay put. It's not a big deal. Come back here. We want to make sure that the blue fins are out of the way to start rotating and try to keep things out of the way for this too. Oh, you know what? I messed up. I gotta keep the arms up just a little bit so that this piece has clearance to rotate down. Then go ahead and bring the arms down and lock those in. But go ahead, rotate this whole section all the way up and around. These sections here will then fold down like that. And then we get to what is easily the single worst part of this figure, split the legs. That's actually the way they handled the head. So the head actually does have to sit like very specifically, turned sideways and slid back on this little plate. But then when you're transforming him up, you go ahead and you just fold this plate down, slide the head forward on that little, there you can see better. You slide it forward, and you're done now. If you want, you can also take these and fold them like this along the back. That's more just a preference thing. And right there, you can already see the problem. So the head platform sitting over here is supposed to be what locks the back half of the figure in place. No, actually, whenever you just apply the slightest pressure, the head plate pops up. He decapitates himself, and everything falls apart. So that's like the one problem with this guy. That is like actually the reason to get the cone heads of this design as well, is the cone heads actually are using, the nose cone, and so you don't have this going on, and it works better. But yeah, so there are some quibbles to be had with this design. Again, this is a very, very old, in terms of third party, it's very old design. Third party figures have not been going on for that long. But the one thing about the head aside, everything else on this guy is pretty good. I'm not going to lie. The head does only rotate, but you get a free range there. The face sculpt is great, actually. Like, just perfect Starscream smirk going on. You do end up with some kind of up and down shoulder articulation because of the way the arms transform on top of the ball joint there in the shoulder. A little rotation even. You've got ball joint in the elbow, so you get like right at 90 degrees. There's a elbow rotation there too. Ball joint in the legs, so you can kick forward. Take his legs between the little fin bits there. He kicks back. He can do the splits. He's got thigh rotation. single jointed knee for 90 degrees, ball joint in the foot, as well as this hinge here. Like, he's a very articulated bot. It's just that head thing. That head thing is weird. And, like, yes, I don't know how they could have done it better, given the way this guy, transforms and stuff. Like, maybe there's a way they could have had it come up from, around here instead, have it fold out from the cockpit or something. I don't know. It really doesn't matter, since we're to the point now where they are knocking off what at least some people would consider a knockoff. I got this guy for, I think, what was effectively $10, so I'm really not going to complain. Size-wise here, because we can't actually do a size comparison really quick, he ends up being almost exactly the same height as Robot Master Starscream, which is kind of funky, but like, man, that's even closer than I realized. Yeah. So he's Robot Master scale. There we go. He's got a size now. No, like, definitely not, the worst Starscream I've dealt with. I've dealt with real official Hasbro figures that I had more problems with than this guy, especially for the price, because, like, for this being, again, fourth party, this is not even the real third party figure. This is someone else making it slightly bigger and making it again and selling it really, really cheap. It's still really good. Like, the quality on this guy feels top notch. This feels like a real Hasbro product. He's heavy. His joints are tight, not too tight, but you put him in a pose, he holds the pose. So he's just a little hard to stand because of the feet. I should mention, the way that this all works out, standing him is not always not always the most easily done thing. And most of the time while you're trying to stand him, you will again screw up that head assembly. But that aside, if you want a small third-party Starscream, you can do worse. You can definitely do worse. He's fun. He does the thing. Worth checking out if you come across him, but again, I wouldn't say worth directly seeking out. Like, if you're going to seek out a third-party Starscream, you should be going for New Age Lucifer here. He's a little smaller. He's actually about the size this guy originally would have been, I believe. Equally bad to stand, actually, because of the feet once again, but definitely I mean, though, to be fair, like, $10, I think I spent $70 on this guy. Yeah, so you're getting what you pay for, but I still am not going to say this is worth really seeking out. But if you run across it and it's like, hey, I need to add something for free shipping on a website, because while I got this guy off of eBay, I have seen them sold on a bunch of other websites. So, you might run across it somewhere else. They're not the worst thing. They're, again, quality-wise, it feels fine. It's just an engineering quibble. But I'm kind of talking in circles now, so I will shut up and say thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.